Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Dr. Jane Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our first guests this morning are Azmina Kanji and Johan Dulak of Renew Med Therapy Center. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good to have you here.
This is the first
Now-
time you've been on our show. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, I think that's wonderful. And it'll be an experience for you. One I guarantee you won't forget.
I'm sure that's going to be the
Because
way.
we are going to dig deep.
Well, we have Barbara and Dr. Dory on the phone. I make no mistake. We've checked you guys out.
Oh, you have.
So we are familiar with what you're going to be doing to us for the next
wonderful.
26 minutes, right?
Well, tell us a little bit about what is Renew Med Therapy Center.
Well, Renew Med Therapy Center is a CORF, so that's a comprehensive outpatient rehab facility, and we specialize in pulmonary rehab. So basically just getting our COPD patients and teaching them how to use their devices, use their medication, breathing techniques, dealing with anxiety, anything really associated with COPD, and now most recently a lot of the post-COVID syndromes.
I see. Do you deal with anyone people who may have had surgeries of any kind?
Absolutely. We do regular traditional
Regular
physical therapy and
physical
occupational therapy as well.
Uh-huh.
But our specialty, what we're really, really good at, what we really excel at, is pulmonary rehab.
I see.
We are really good at PT and OT, but what we love is pulmonary rehab.
Now, what is pulmonary rehab?
Okay, so I'll take that. Pulmonary rehab is not every patient who suffers from pulmonary disease is aware about what pulmonary rehab really is, but it is a multidisciplinary approach to ensuring that patients' quality of life improves, activities of daily living improve. They're able to live a little longer. The latest studies are showing a 2 to 4 year extension of life. And basically, patients can do the things that they've missed out on doing. The symptoms typically for these patients are shortness of breath, fatigue, their stamina, strength, and endurance are suffering. They sometimes can't really do much. They sit and watch TV or they read because doing any kind of movement for them is scary. They're worried that they'll run out of oxygen and so on and so forth. So when I say it's a multidisciplinary approach, Johan just talked about doing physical therapy and occupational therapy. So the patients suffering from lung disease also have a gait, a balance issue, or they've lost their strength in their upper or lower bodies, which means activities of daily living take a hit. So it's a comprehensive therapy, means that they will be seeing respiratory therapists, physical therapists, and occupational therapists working together as a team to move the patient from point A to point Z. And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
And, it's so important because our patients go into the hospital and they might have a history of lung problems. But when they're in the hospital is very quick to get them out the door. And the ability to get educated by the hospital is limited by time and the right personnel there. So when you have someone who is leaving the hospital, especially with a pulmonary lung problem that might even be coming home on oxygen, how do you pick those patients up? Do the doctors contact you? Do the patients or family members contact you? How do we get them lined up to get to your therapy?
Well, that's actually a great point. The hospital is the number one, obviously, point of contact for these types of patients. Where we generally get our patients from is the individual pulmonologists once they've seen the patient. Usually that's where we would get our referrals. But what we see ourselves as is as a bridge between the hospital and the doctor. Because what that moment you're talking about, that you're mentioning, where the patient is in the hospital and the hospital has, the hospital has a job to do. It's got to get these patients in and out. They don't necessarily have the time to educate these patients to the degree that they have to. And in many cases, the doctors themselves inside the ER, the case managers, the hospitalists, these guys don't know about our program. So
Right.
what we see ourselves as is, if we can get these patients when they are in the hospital for these exacerbations, so their COPD has kicked up, or even post-COVID dyspnea now is a big thing that we're seeing.
Right.
If we could get them from the hospital to us, that would make a world of difference, both from the patient and on the hospital's end too. There's many benefits to having patients not be readmitted for these conditions, and that's really where we excel, is once you're out of the hospital, keeping you out of the hospital.
Well,
Right.
it's interesting because in my husband's instance, and Dr. Dory was the one who got him admitted into the hospital. He had COPD, he had pneumonia, and he also had back problems from, I can't think of the name of the disease he had again. But they wanted to get him out. They didn't want him in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, out. And I said, absolutely not. He was in there. He was having physical therapy. He was on IV medication. I couldn't take care of him at home
Absolutely.
like that. I would have to have a 24-hour nurse because he was in such bad condition.
And it's really a chicken and egg scenario too, because the hospital has external forces pushing on it as well. They have to do what they have to do to stay above water. And I think that's what makes our particular enterprise so special, because we can serve this population, benefiting the hospital, benefiting the doctor, and ultimately, and most importantly, benefiting the patient. So everybody wins with this pulmonary rehab thing.
The other issue, Dr. Doria, is that 62% of the patients suffering from pulmonary disease, they really don't know what it even means. 62% is a huge number, and then primarily it's because even maybe some of the pulmonologists know about us possibly, but then you have the hospital who doesn't, the discharge planners don't, the internist not always knows about us. And actually Barbara's husband was actually a perfect candidate for us, because imagine a person coming into a facility with COPD, pneumonia, right? That's what we work on. Imagine that he still had physical therapy issues, so we could have helped with his Parkinson's, which is what it was.
That's right.
A perfect candidate. If he's sad or depressed or anxious because he's changed from being a very successful person and now he's so dependent on Barbara and nurses, well, we have a social worker on staff. So that means we have somebody else he could speak to for resources, for other circumstances that he wants to speak to a social worker and maybe not Barbara. I don't know. So I'm just thinking, though, that's the kind of candidate that would be just actually a perfect candidate for us, to help out.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I had long-term care insurance, which my husband fought me on. He said, no, don't get it. I got it anyway, and I didn't tell him.
Good for you.
Until the time came when I had to have someone come in to the home so that I could get a good night's sleep. But I had to make sure he was taken care of.
Absolutely.
So I had to kick in the long-term care insurance. And he finally thanked me for doing that, because otherwise our retirement and our investments would have been almost completely wiped out.
Absolutely.
Because of
Yes.
having someone to come in and take care of him. And I had 24/7 care. I had to.
I think it's also important for our listeners to be aware that because the hospital and the doctors are focused on getting patients in and getting patients out, they put aside the education part. And I think it's important that they know that having a lung problem, being on oxygen, whether it be COVID or pneumonia or whatever it is, they're able to know that their quality of life could improve, because when they leave the hospital, I can tell you right now that when you have a lung problem, your quality of life is suffering, and you're at home now, or your family's with you, and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to live like this. This is not good. Nothing will get better. Why should I why should I re-engage? What we need to make sure is our listeners understand there's alternatives. There's ways of improving quality of life. And that way is to get therapy, to get treatment, to get rehab. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get it from the hospital and the doctors, where are you going to get it from? Well, this show is the perfect show to put this out there so
Yes.
People understand and know there are other options that go beyond what the hospital can provide.
And that's a big part of our motivation for coming on the radio and trying to get out into the community, because we know, just to put a number on the statistic as Mina gave you, it's 62% is a huge number, but 62% of what? We're talking about 16 to 20 million diagnoses a year, 62% of that. So what that tells us is, obviously, we've got to start getting in touch with these patients directly, because in many cases, the patient has to be their own advocate, because many people don't know about the program. And even if your doctor is schooled and well-learned and all these things, we just opened up in your area. The chances that your doctor knows that we're here already are slim. So we wanted to get the message out to the community to let these folks know we're here, we're ready, and we could, if you need the help, we can help you.
Dr. Doria, I want to make one more point, because I'm sure your listeners are saying, who's paying for this? Right? It's $1 million
Right.
question. Who pays for it? Because people get worried. Oh, therapy means I have to pay X $100 an hour or what? Actually, the therapy, most people qualify, so there is no cost. It's there's no out-of-pocket cost. If you're elderly, you have Medicare. You qualify, Medicare pays for it. Elderly folks also have other health plans which they qualify for. They're contractual HMOs. Some of them are contracted. We can help with that. The younger ones, like with COVID, if they're workman's comp, because their companies are paying for it, they qualify. PPOs, they all qualify. And part of the reason that all these insurance companies, including HMOs, including all these insurance companies, is because they've seen a drop in hospital readmissions and healthcare costs. So your listeners should know that there is no cost. All you have to do is be empowered enough to say, I want to get better, and make
Absolutely.
make the call to Renew Med Therapy Center.
Right, and your quality of life can be enhanced, and we really have to emphasize that one needs to know that we're all trying to age in place. We're all trying to stay at home with our loved ones around us, not end up in nursing homes. So we need to take advantage of what we can get, and now this is a great opportunity for all the advocates who are out there, all the patients who are out there, all the caregivers who are out there listening to the show. There are other options that one can take after leaving the hospital, and especially a common problem-related illness that people have are related to the lungs. And so you just have to keep this in mind, please, because it will change your life for the better. Your life expectancy will increase. Your quality of life will increase, as we've said. Mobility will increase. And, your state of mind and how you are ambling through life with depression or worries and things like that will lessen because you've had rehab, because there is somebody out there to help out in your endeavors.
That's right. And it's interesting because I live alone now. And my daughter comes down once a week and usually spends the night. And she's very concerned because I'm 85, I live alone, and I have a kitty cat. And she says, Mom, I'm retiring. She says, I'm 63 years old. She's an interpreter for the deaf in the school district up in Palmdale. And she says, I'm retiring. She says, I'm coming down here to stay with you 2 or 3 times a week. You're alone, and you don't need to be alone.
And
so
you're one
I'm
of the
coming
lucky
down.
ones.
Yeah, you're very lucky.
I
You're
am.
one of the very few lucky ones.
Yes.
That you have a daughter willing to do that. But imagine all the other ones who are alone and suffering. You're 85 and you look like you're 68, maybe?
Oh, thank you.
We're
Well,
aging.
I try to take care of myself. I've started back doing water aerobics
Great.
That's
at
wonderful.
the gym that I belong to.
Wow.
And sometimes I'll walk outside, but we've got a lot of hills, and I'm thinking, no, I'd be better off on the bike. So I get on the bicycle in the
That's great.
extra room
As long
we
as
have.
you're doing something.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't use it, you lose it, right?
That's exactly
that's it.
right. And nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Absolutely.
You know, and I have to watch where I'm going and how I'm getting there because I have a tendency to be off balance. And I think that comes with age anyway. Doesn't it, Dr. Dorio?
Absolutely.
And
we're
so
always,
I have to, when I get out of bed in the middle of the night for any
have to.
reason,
You
I
be
have to
careful.
hold on to the edge of the bed, hold on to the chest of drawers, and then work my way around to where I'm going and what I'm going to do.
Yeah, well, Dr. Dorio probably can, give us more, but we've been informed that 1 out of 3 patients over the age of 65 fall in the United States. And by the way, when I talk about multidisciplinary, if a person wants to be more risk of, not have that risk of falling, then fall prevention and gait balance is a part of what we do as well in our program. So, and imagine not having to pay for it. You're on Medicare, and you come and get stronger, and you prevent the risk of falling. So that's another thing that would benefit the listeners if they don't have a pulmonary disease, but they don't want to fall. This is a good way to come for therapy as well.
yeah, and the lung problems do contribute. There's no doubt. Not just the oxygen cord that might be nearby, but also your oxygen level could drop if you remove the cannula for a little while and you don't know it. So you might get a little dizzy and fall. One needs good rehab. Especially when they've been ill and they've been in the hospital, they've grown weaker, they haven't eaten as well, and they get home and they're still weak. And if you don't have that rehab, and know especially specifically to rehab your lungs, you're going to end up in trouble.
Yes,
That's true.
absolutely. Now, how do we get in touch with you for our listeners to...
Well, you can call us on the phone, 661-425-7622 or 23. You could go to our website, which is renewmedscv.com. And I'm pretty sure that's it, unless you want to send us some mail.
Where are you
Where are
located?
you located?
Oh,
Physically
yes,
located.
you could come see us physically.
Yes.
That's the most important. 24355 Lyons Avenue, Suite 216, and we are right off of the 5. I believe last time we were here, we established it's Burger King adjacent.
Burger King adjacent. Well, I have to stop and think about where Burger King is because I never go there.
We're in that big medical building that I believe it's called the doctor's office.
It's not. There's the doctor's office is there, correct?
Okay, so that's not the name of the building.
That's a doctor business, but we know it's between the two assisted livings. You're wedged in there.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now I know where you are. Okay, that's terrific.
Right across from the dollar store.
Yes, there you go. I got you now.
Dollar store adjacent.
Dollar store
Oh,
adjacent.
Joyce. And I go there many times. I love that place. Esmina and Johan, it was delightful having you, and I hope you come back again.
We will. Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you,
Yes.
Barbara, and
Thank you,
thank you,
guys.
Doctor, for
Thanks,
your
Doc.
endorsement. We really appreciate it.
You guys
Yes.
are very welcome. You're doing an important thing for our community.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
now we have to take a break. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Discover the memory care your loved one deserves at Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's brand new luxury senior living community in Santa Clarita. Oakmont's innovative memory care program features stimulating and engaging activities in a soothing environment, as well as compassionate professional care delivered in the privacy of the residents' apartment homes. With 2 gorgeous outdoor courtyards, as well as an on-site movie theater, residents will enjoy a life full of vitality, dignity, and purpose. For more information, visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
This is Bradley from Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to 4,465 families in the SCV. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 661-425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
This holiday music is brought to you by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, your community health partner. To learn more about our award-winning care, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us on the web at providence.org.
Get your free thermostats from Pacific Air, free!
Ned, what are you doing? You can't offer that.
Yes, I can. With every AC tune-up this month, Pacific Air will replace your mechanical thermostat with a digital one, free!
Get in the truck, Ned.
Ned's right.
It's true.
Mark Schneider and daughter Kaylee for Pacific Air.
This month, call Pacific Air to schedule your WOW heating tune-ups.
And we'll replace your old mechanical thermostat
with a brand new digital thermostat, absolutely free of charge.
And if you need a new heating and air system, but money is tight, call today and ask about our buy now, pay later financing. We think you'll say,
wow! Call the guys in the orange truck. That's Pacific Air. On time, great care. When you want the best, call Pacific Air.
Get your WOW heating tune-up today, and we'll replace your old mechanical thermostat with a new digital thermostat free. Get service at packair.com.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our call-in guest today now is one of the sponsors of the Senior Hour from Comfort Keepers In-Home Care, the owner, Miles McNamara. Hi, Miles. Good to hear you again.
Hey, guys.
Miles,
Good
welcome.
to hear you as well.
Are you staying out of trouble?
What fun would that be?
Well,
but,
what does it mean to you?
Got to keep things
Miles,
interesting, but
Yeah, but listen, Miles, I want to just mention, your daughter is in the service right now, and I just want to make sure, we've had Veterans Day, that, we've honored our veterans and also those who are still serving. And I just want to give kudos to you and the McNamara family for serving our country. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I mean, credit goes to my daughter. I'm not doing much, but yeah, she's currently a captain in the Air Force. Right now, she's stationed in West Virginia, and at least she's stateside now because she went to Korea, then she went to Germany, but now I got her back on American soil. So that's a good thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Have you been out to see her recently?
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, I was going to try to go out over Veterans Day, actually, but, with all the thousands and thousands of air flights being canceled each weekend, I'm like, I was going to get stranded somewhere.
Yeah.
So we postponed. I'll get out there soon.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
And, Miles, we, on the earlier part of our show, we were talking with Renew Med Therapy Center, and, they have a program to rehab in the home. And essentially, you take care of that whole picture. They do pulmonary mostly, but you take care of that whole picture in terms of allowing our older adults to age in place. That's what we want to do. So I want to make sure that our listeners understand that they do have an option here as well with Comfort Keepers in-home care to sustain a person in their home. But, certain things have to be recognized right away and understood to get that care going before people go over the cliff. So maybe you can just go right through some of the problems that people start to face as they get older, and what caregivers should hopefully recognize that something that might be becoming a problem.
Well, you read my mind because, I listened in a little bit earlier, and I mean, there's so many resources now to help our seniors age in place. And it's just so awesome as the resources develop and the options become so available. But with us, it's non-medical in-home care. I mean, for our listeners who haven't heard of us before, we're not nurses, so we're not that home health that the doctor prescribes to come in and do medical things like check your vitals or what have you. But we do the assistance of daily living activities. So we help with meal preparation, in and out of the shower, taking their meds on time, anything that keeps them in their home independently. And as far as what caregivers will look out for, this is a time of year that I always bring up the fact that it's the holiday season. Thanksgiving ranks as the number one holiday when families come together. And it's just really often that it's the only time that our adult children lay eyes on their parents. It may be, as they travel to get together, they may have been talking on the phone, and for our active seniors who are listening, you can kind of pass this on to friends of friends who may have kids going to visit their parents. In that, when we talk on the phone, a lot of times it's very superficial. The weather's been terrible. How are the kids? That kind of thing. But it's not really an in-depth observation of what the aging in place looks like right now. So one thing that I tell my adult children and also my active seniors who may be going over to see other seniors is to take a moment to really take that entire environment in to see if everything is going as it should. So, it's not on the phone and we're seeing them for the first time since possibly last Thanksgiving, or maybe it's Christmas we all get together, is to start using our five senses to take a look around and subtly, not like a China in a bull shop, but subtly start looking around and, with your sight, sound, smell, touch, etc., and just start kind of being observant. Take a look in, the refrigerator. Is the food current? Is there spoiled food in there? Obviously when we see our parents or loved ones for a long time, we're going to give them a nice hug. Really, feel that hug. Have they lost weight? Have they lost 20 pounds since you last seen them? That could be cause for alarm. Then hang out with your parents or your loved ones to observe them in their daily activities. If they're going to run an errand or go to the store, let them drive. As obnoxious adult kids, we all say, "I'll drive, Mom, I'll drive." Let them drive. Let them drive to the store and see what, if their skills have diminished, at all. And, and then, is their hygiene what you remember? Are they wearing the same clothes over and over? So all these are signs of possible cognitive decline. Other issues maybe come into play. Is the mail stacked up, or is it, you see past due bills? Are you noticing things around the house that you never used to notice before? If your parents kept an immaculate house, but now it seems to be a little dusty, dirty, what have you. And mom and dad never kept a house this shabbily, so maybe that's an issue. So there's a lot of things that we can observe this once or twice a year time we see our parents or loved ones to make those mental notes that maybe they still want to age in place in their own home, but maybe they need a helping hand.
But also what Comfort Keepers does as well, Miles, is that they put the extra eyes into my patients and the loved ones that are out there into their environment, so they can see what might be going on that the family might not observe. And for sure, the doctors who don't do house calls will never observe as well. I mean, there's always problems with medication and how they're taking their medication or not taking their medication. There are always problems around the house related to fall dangers, as we talked about earlier in the show, that people fall. A lot of people fall, and it is detrimental to the outcome in the long run on how people end up doing. If we get to observe how well they're eating and even if they're going to their medical appointments. So these are all things that when you have the extra eyes from Comfort Keepers, it makes a huge difference.
Right, and I want to reach out to, for those folks, we are in place. We are the eyes and ears of either your patients or the adult children's, loved ones or friends. Sometimes seniors call us themselves. So we're already in place, and you're absolutely right. Those are the observations that we have to stay on top of, and we do. And we have a whole checklist and safety inspection and the whole 9 yards. Who I'm reaching out to today are the people who don't know what they don't know. Because if we're already in place, somebody recognized the need for a helping hand to age in place. But now I'm reaching out to the people who are going to see their loved ones possibly for the first time in a year. And it could be here, could be somewhere across the country, but they have home care across the country. So I want people to now be aware of when they're seeing their parents. And we have adult kids coming in who unfortunately aren't listening to KHTS right now because the airwaves don't reach that far. But so if we're already in place, we're doing our job. We're doing what you've already just outlined. I want to reach out to the people who don't know we're here and maybe, reach out to a friend and say, what did it look like when you were visiting your mom this year? How I go over the exact same things I just talked about. So my biggest message today is for the people who don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one because unless you're reading the newspaper, listening to the radio, watching TV, sometimes we lack the information and direction as to how we do things, and we're not knowledgeable in everything. That's hard to do. So this show has, and you've always been involved with our show, Miles, has tried to put out there the educational value of things that one can do to sustain themselves in their home in a safe manner. And by doing that, you continue to live in Santa Clarita. You continue to go to the grocery store. You continue to be with your friends. You continue to go to church. You can have all the freedoms of life. But, that does escape some of us when we're not observant enough and, when we don't know what we don't know. And so it's important that they listen, keep their eyes open, keep their ears open, and, follow through with what we're talking about.
Well,
right.
You know what, Miles? I may be using you one of these days.
Well, you still have that long-term care in place, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
There you
go. And believe me, that really helped.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up because unfortunately right now there are some Medicare Advantage plans have been given the green light but really haven't jumped into helping seniors with paying for home care. So right now home care is private pay unless you have long-term care insurance.
Absolutely.
So with some of our seniors, it may have already passed the sweet spot. But to our adult kids who are listening and our healthy, active seniors, look into long-term care insurance because We get insurance for all other aspects of our life. I mean, we get homeowners insurance. What's the chance of us getting a fire? We get auto insurance. The odds of getting a car accident are fairly low. But we are 100% all going to grow old and need a helping hand in our life at some point. So that's the only thing that's 100% effectively covered by insurance, and we don't get it.
That's very true, and it's interesting. I think I've told you before, many years ago, I said to Russ, let's get long-term care insurance, and he said, no, I got it anyway. And he didn't know it. He didn't know it until it was time to use it. And he was so thankful because home care 24/7 is very, very expensive. I mean, it really is. And I know, Miles, you have to run a business and you have to pay these people who go to homes and take care. And that's expensive to pay those people. And it's also expensive for the people who are being taken care of. And long-term care insurance paid 2/3 of every bill that we had. And 2/3 is a lot of money.
It relieves a lot of pressure, especially because you were a rare case, Barbara, where you guys needed 24/7, and we're happy to step up for you. But that long-term care insurance really helped you.
Oh.
More often than not, it's someone who just needs someone 4 to 8 hours a day to come in and make sure that they're eating well, taking their meds on time, getting their doctor's appointments, and many times if they've got long-term care, it covers it 100%. Rarely, you can't really get a policy that covers 24/7, but as in your case, it took a huge burden off.
Oh, it really did. And Russ was so thankful that I did get it, even though he objected to begin, and I did it anyway. And I'm so thankful that I did, because otherwise it would have really, really depleted our finances and our investments. And he was thankful. He really was. So I strongly recommend get long-term care insurance.
Yeah, it really comes in handy. And unfortunately, like I said, some of our seniors, you can't buy long-term care insurance today and trigger it tomorrow. So you do have to get it when you're still healthy, and kind of that sweet spot is in the mid-50s, early 60s years of age. But if you're a healthy, active senior in your 70s, I mean, the premiums may be a little high because of your age, but in the long run, still you'd have to do a cost analysis with your financial planner and see if it would behoove you to do so. But I would advise looking into it.
Absolutely. I strongly advise it. It was a lifesaver for us because we had to dig into some of our retirement monies, but very little compared to what it would have been had we not had the long-term care insurance. It was a saving. It really was. And so it's expensive, but if you're younger, you're still working, you're still pulling in a good salary, buy it. It will literally save your life from loss of finances. It really will. It's definitely worth it.
And like I said, if you get it in the sweet spot, it basically costs per month about, the cost of an insurance policy for your car. And like I said, the odds of getting in a car accident are far less than the odds of us getting old.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And do we need to take a break? Yeah, let's do that. We'll be back in a few moments. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Your business sign is essential to getting customers to your location. Feathers can help you get your business noticed. Feathers, now in a new larger space with plenty of parking. They walk you through each phase of your project with special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will provide you a sign that you can be proud of. Your sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Visit Feathers online at feathersigns.com or go to Feathers' brand new bigger location at 26017 Huntington Drive off Rye Canyon or call 298-9442.
Reeves Complete Auto Center is open to handle service and repairs for your vehicle. With a 2-year, 24,000-mile parts and labor warranty, Dave Reeves and his team have been exceeding their customers' expectations for decades. Reeves Complete Auto Center is here for you on Soledad and Ruther. ReevesService.com. Reeves Complete Auto Center, caring about Santa Clarita and you.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Hi, I'm Tamara Gurney, President of Mission Valley Bank, Santa Clarita Valley's local community business bank. It's been a challenging 18 months, and as we approach the holidays, our bank is pleased to bring you some holiday music in the hopes of uplifting your spirits and spreading some joy during this season. I'd also like to invite you to visit us at our branch located at 26701 McBean Parkway, across from the Town Center, to meet our amazing team. And on behalf of our entire Mission Valley Bank team, we wish you a very happy and healthy holiday season.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to Mend, M-E-N-D, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Great healthcare just got easier and more convenient in Canyon Country. Facey Canyon Country is now open directly off the Soledad Canyon exit off the 14 freeway. The 37,000 square foot clinic houses Facey Medical Group primary care physicians, pediatricians, and specialists. Facey has easy 24/7 online appointment scheduling for PCPs and PEDS. For more information or to make an appointment, visit facey.com. That's FACEY.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Miles McNamara, one of our sponsors of the Senior Hour, who's from Comfort Keepers in Home Care. And let's continue with our conversation, shall we?
Absolutely.
Great.
I was just going to say, we were talking earlier in the show about seeing our family once or twice a year, and this is the time of year it happens. So once you do that observation, and you discern, and again, this goes for adult children or active seniors who are visiting friends and other seniors in their life, because once you've done what we talked about earlier, doing that physical and visual and the five sense kind of observation, it may be time. And you should do this before it's even an issue. But seeing your loved ones for the first time this year in a long time, it might be time to sit down and have what we call the talk. And the talk is to sit down with your aging loved ones very respectfully and have a conversation of what that aging in place map looks like for them. I mean, and because you can't sit them down, and if you have multiple kids in your family, you can't come at them like a bull in a china shop. And it has to, timing is everything. The location matters. There should be kind of a point person, and it's almost a conversation because I've had it with my mom. And if you ease into it, and you almost let them lead the conversation as you give suggestions and, hey, what do you want to do when this happens? How do you see this happening? And a lot of times they'll take the lead unless they're you've come into the situation where cognitive impairment's already got a head start on you. But a lot of times if you plant that seed and say, what does that aging in place map look like for you? A lot of times you can get a lot of good traction of what they want as they age in place.
We have a master plan for aging now in the state of California that we're going to start to adhere to. And a lot of that will be related to aging in place. So the awareness and understanding of and meaning of this will be so important for those in our valley and in the state of California. So the implementation will start to take place, but a lot of that will involve, Miles, what you do and how, individuals will understand and family members and the needs of having someone come in and help out the seniors to remain in their home.
Right, and sometimes, it's not one size fits all. My mom kind of surprised me because sometimes folks say, when I get to this point in my life, I want to sell the home and move into an assisted living facility, kind of that thing we call a cruise ship on land. Some seniors want that. I mean, we want them to stay in their own home, but again, it's their choice. That's why you have the talk and ask them what that map looks like to them. And they may surprise you and say, when I hit this age, I want to sell my house and move into an assisted living. Others may say, I want to take a reverse mortgage if I need to and stay in my home until the day I pass. Others may have a variable, a hybrid of both. I mean, so again, until you have the talk, so you're not pushing your beliefs and your will and your choices on them, let them talk to you and tell them what that map looks like to them.
Right. And that discussion needs to take place early when those decisions, I think we will start, even millennials now are talking about these decisions. They're in their, 30s and 40s, early 40s. So, we're starting to come out, and, one of the advantages, knowing someone named Jane McNamara, who is your wife, who comes out and talks to individuals, like at the senior center, informing them of what you should do beforehand, preventively, to make sure that your life down the line is better and that we enhance your quality of life as you get older. We're starting to become more aware of that with voices like Jane, yourself, myself, Barbara, this radio station. We are doing that to make sure that life is better for all of us. But I think we're kind of leading the way, Miles and Barbara, in the arena that's out there. Because Santa Clarita is out there, and we're thinking about it a little bit ahead of everybody else. So we're trying to get everybody in place to understand what their needs are right now. And Comfort Keepers is going to be playing a role in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And one thing I might say, if we come into the talk a little late, if cognitive impairment's kind of in play, and this is the hardest conversation I have with my adult kids, is that, you still handle it with love and respect. And we've always honored our mother and our father, but at some point it comes in time where they may not have the final say anymore. A lot of times I'll have, adult kids say, well, mom and dad don't want the help, or they only want, X amount. And I have to say to them, well, the pendulum has shifted now. It's the circle of life. Still with respect, still with love. You cannot willingly let them live in a dangerous situation because they said they don't want something. So there's that tough talk, and I just want to tell those folks, you have help out there. Don't go it alone. You have resources. You have don't go in it alone and turn your parents against you, because it's a slippery slope. So there is help and resources out there.
Yes, there
if
absolutely
anyone
is.
wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Next door neighbors with your previous guest. I'm down the road about a mile at 23900 Lyons Avenue. And you can call 661-287-4200, 661-287-4200, or go to comfortkeepers.com.
Makes a big difference, Miles. Thank you so much for being on the show again and giving this great information about aging in place and quality of life. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care, Miles McNamara, and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.